America? Welcome into another episode of Juice Up, only found right here on GallerySports.com. I'm your host, Rachel Von Orania, and today I want to talk a little Thursday night football, baby. Yeah, Titans versus the Cowboys, and I have brought on Gallery Sports' very own writer and editor, Mike Guido. Mike, thank you so much for joining me today and taking the time to talk to me. Look, in order to talk about the future, what do they say? We must always revisit the past. So before we start talking about the Titans-Cowboys matchup, what did you take away from that holiday matchup against the Jalen Hurts-less Eagles?
This is a defense that I think has a lot of injuries. I mean, I was never a fan of Anthony Brown myself, the corner that was opposite of Trayvon Diggs, but I guess we see the light now that he's gone, because what's been on the opposite side of that has been pretty tough. The past 3 weeks, one of the things that really stood out, I think it's primarily on defense. They really have struggled. This was a team that once led the NFL in sacks, and the past 3 or 4 weeks, they have really struggled to get pressure. So I think a lot of what you can take away from the game against Philly is just the struggles that they've had on defense recently.
Yeah, absolutely. And as everybody knows, I'm the resident Atlanta Falcons fan, very familiar with Dan Quinn. So I'm not really surprised to see a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type of thing come from a Dan Quinn defense. You know what I mean? But what I'm really kind of getting at is, does the fact that the Cowboys, they're at home, right? Seemingly, I'm guessing, because I have been looking forward to this game. I was looking forward to this game all season. Wish Jalen Hurts was there, but he wasn't. I digress. But the fact that he wasn't there, you got to think that the Cowboys have been looking forward to this matchup since October. The media is hyping it up and everything. They could only beat a Gardner Minshew version of the Eagles by 6 points. And Gardner Minshew and that Eagles offense, they turned the ball over quite a bit. But it wasn't the outstanding win that you kind of would have expected from them. Does that worry you?
It does. It does. Like I said, I think, the Cowboys primarily right now have 2 problems. The first problem is what I alluded to before. They really are having trouble stopping anything on defense. We've known that this is a run defense that has struggled all year, and now that they're absent some corners and they're relying on some young guys that don't have as much experience, now they're going to end up, giving up a little bit more in the passing game. The second problem is that you just said the Eagles, I mean, they turned the ball over 4 times in that game against the Cowboys. That's the Cowboys' problem, is Dak's throwing too many interceptions. Since he came back, he's thrown 11 interceptions. That's the most in that time. So I think right now, what's going on with the Cowboys is this is a team that used to take the ball away and not give it away, and now they're doing the opposite.
Yeah, absolutely. He's talking about how the run defense has been a problem pretty much all year for the Cowboys. Look, you're going to face Derrick Henry. Now, I know that he didn't practice on Monday. They're giving him some rest. I don't really think he's banged up. I think they're just kind of giving him some rest. Tennessee has been one of the most banged up injured teams this season. I'm looking at the injury report of the Cowboys. They have quite a few. The Titans have quite a few as well. Now, obviously, as I said, run defense an issue for the Cowboys. Tennessee is one of the hardest teams to run the ball against. They're ranking 2nd in rushing yards allowed per game, but their secondary can give up a lot of points. I'm just kind of pinpointing out some highlights, I guess, storylines of this going in when we're trying to predict how this game is going to go. Now, for the Cowboys, Zach Martin's banged up, right? Leighton Vander Esch is banged up. Tony Pollard's banged up. Sam Williams is banged up. Some of those guys will play in this game. Some won't. As far as the Titans go, this game probably doesn't mean much to them. I don't think it means much to the Cowboys either. The Cowboys are in the playoffs. The Titans, no matter what happens in this game versus Dallas, they have to beat the Jaguars in week 18. So I could see a situation where they might be looking ahead, resting some players, and just looking forward to that game versus the Jags. Tell me, Mike, how do you see this game going? What do you see happening?
Well, I think if Tannehill's season is over, which it looks like it is, then I think Tennessee right now is in big, big trouble with Malik Willis at quarterback. I just do. This is a team that cannot throw the football at this point in time. And if they're going to be, kind of taking the load off in the backfield, then I think it only favors Dallas. Now, again, you brought up a good point. Tennessee is a very good run defense. They have a very strong defensive front. But what Dallas has done is, and this kind of, wavers a little bit if Tony Pollard doesn't play, but they throw 2 kind of attacks at you. They have the bullish rushing attack with Zeke Elliott, and they have the more elusive, get him in the open field approach with Tony Pollard. They've been able to successfully run the football and still find balance because if they can get into those 3rd and short situations, then it opens up the play action. It just gives the Cowboys way more options. So at least from my perspective, I really think the Cowboys should be favored to win this game, and they are. I think they're very favored to win this game, especially if Malik Willis is playing at quarterback for Tennessee. Then this should be a very easy Cowboy win, regardless of what Tennessee's been doing up front.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. Dallas should win. They're favored to win, but who knows? You know, any given Sunday, as they say, or Thursday for this sake. But you never know what's going to happen. And as far as Tannehill goes, the team is, you know, they haven't put him on IR. They're trying not to do that. I know that Coach Vrabel said that Tannehill's doing anything and everything he can to even possibly play on Thursday night. But if I'm Vrabel, I'm letting him sit out another week at least and seeing what I can do against the Jags. But hey, Mike, thank you so much for coming on the show today and talking a little Cowboys Thursday Night Football with me. I appreciate it so much. We'll definitely get you back on as the postseason comes and the Cowboys are going through that whole thing. So I look forward to having you again. Hey guys, that is all the time we have for now. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Juiced Up. You can only find it right here on gallerysports.com. And that is your one-stop shop for immediate insight and information. I'm Rachel Vana Orania, and I will see you mañana.